Thanks, man.
Alrighty, guys. We hopefully should be back for you guys as we get ready to get into this finals for you guys. As again, it's DVI versus Sly. Some pretty epic games coming forward to you guys. We should be getting the last player in here in just a second to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, sorry for the delay, guys. Like, there's a few issues going on right now. You know, the buttery smooth experience is not here with us today, unfortunately. So just recreate the party. We'll be all good, and we'll get all the players in.
It's like, first we get the issue of the party needing to be restarted, and then we have the issue of the stream. This is live, this is live TV, guys, so to speak. This is what can happen, but I'm sure it will be worth the wait once we get onto the Sovereign's Rise, once we get into the action between these two absolute fantastic teams. Divine Vendetta, they have shifted up their roster a little bit throughout the year. They got a Viking in who had kind of left the Vainglory esports scene somewhat at the kind of, you know, midway point of the year, but came back with Divine Vendetta and has proven to be a very, very competent and one of the best mid laners within Vainglory right now.
Yeah, absolutely. A ton of veterans to the Vainglory scene for Europe in this final here. Both on Sly and on Divine Vendetta, you know, we've got Agony and Viking and Joker, you know. Those guys, while they may not have had the same performance as some of the guys on Sly as far as where they were able to go, this is a whole new game since 3v3, right? So yeah, this is really anybody's game. I do think favoritism is obviously going to lean on the side of Sly, but you cannot sleep on Joker, you cannot sleep on Viking, and you definitely can't sleep on Agony. Otherwise, they can turn things around pretty quickly.
Yeah, they can. It's always going to come down to synergy, communication, and competence in terms of your rotations and working together as a team, especially once we hit the kind of 10-12 minute mark of the game, when the dragons start really coming online, when we see the Ghostwing has kind of spawned after a couple of minutes, you're coming into the Black Claw region, getting those first couple of turrets. And by the way, from kind of playing the game quite a bit over the last couple of days, man, it's so hard being in that top lane position, because we're seeing bottom lane turrets go down in 3 minutes less, because we see the jungler in the bottom lane, or will really put that early game pressure on. So I think that's going to really dictate how the game is gonna go if either Sly or Divine Vendetta get a really nice early bottom lane push.
God damn, like they really don't want to start this game. Sorry guys, like wait, they don't have Magnus. Okay, so you have to go back in draft. Okay, it's all good. Sorry for the delay, guys. Like, so many technical issues right now. Vainglory having issues. OBS having issues. It's really annoying for the finals, I know. We just got to get it rolling. If I could fix everything, I would. But, like, this is a little bit out of my hands, unfortunately. We're going back in draft. We know what the draft is already. So, let's jump back into it.
Really? Do we? Damn.
Oh, let's try, you know. Let's try. Because right now it's pretty catastrophic.
And now the bans on the draft phase is just like totally askew, but we will look to get these players locked in as quickly as possible. You know, get these heroes underway. Maxman,
yes,
what do you think yourself as far as you know, who do you think has got, you know, obviously like we said, Sly tends to be favorites, but based on the draft we see for this first game, who do you think has a kind of better comp?
If I was looking just like purely at the draft, I would say I prefer the draft coming out of the side of DVI. Like, they got more diversity, and I think overall their draft like got a lot more potential to ease together. For example, Churmwalker paired up with Wisdom Magnus can really work out together, and they also got a bunch of counters. Like, they did go for the Silver Nail earlier. They normally have the Silver Nail. They should pick it up. And against a Flicker, against a Grumshaw, those are two specific counters that Silver Nail deals with pretty damn easily. So if I was talking purely about draft, I'd have to give it over to the side of DVI. But it is Sly, and they did beat NA, so anything is possible once again.
And also, let's not forget, we have the Lyra Arcane Passage. That can go through.
Please no dodge.
That will skip those wires. You know, so that will be able to go past the zoning coming out from the Silver Nail. So with the Sly, with the level of synergy they have, they can easily set up a team fight, go through the portal, engage, shut down the Silver Nail, and then you have a lot less CC wise to get past to take out the rest of the Divine Vendetta team. So I definitely think the engagers coming out from Kiana and Nakoa, who we know is one of the best captains in Vainglory right now, is going to be very important with that Arcane Passage.
Yeah, I absolutely agree there. But it looks like we are finally in the game, and it's going to be Viking picking up the Magnus Imperium MX. So interested to see what Viking's able to do. He's such a fun hero. But we also haven't seen a ton of Grumpjaw lately, so we're going to have to see what the Grumpjaw is able to pull off here in this 3.9 update. We are on the rise.
Yeah, indeed, we're ready to jump right into it. Both teams ready to get it into the first game of this BO5. For information, this is a BO5 of DVI versus the side of Sly for the Grand Finals. The winner of this will take it all and will be the Grand European Champion for this end of year 2019. End of year 2018, man. Everything, man. I'm stressed out, okay? I don't know what's going on.
It's okay,
it's all good. So we're ready to go for it. We're going to see no jungle invades from both sides. So, like, pretty passive early game so far. Not really surprising because, like, there's no huge power spikes except for the flicker. I thought they might try and be a little bit more annoying with that flicker. Maybe try and shut down Viking on this Magnus. That will not be the case coming out from the set of Sly.
Yeah, and then also one thing that I have noticed is that no team has picked up anything like minion candies. I was expecting some minion candies to be picked up by either of the captains coming into this game, especially when you look at you know, minion candies are so important, can really help to push lane and starve that respective enemy laner. So definitely surprised that didn't happen.
They did really nerf the candies, you know. Oh, did have a first blood though coming out from Krax with that Gromjaw. Gromjaw early game, pretty decent once he hits like level 2. Like the damage output is pretty outstanding if you play it properly. So there's going to be first blood going over to the side of Sly. But yeah, minion candy, they did reduce the armor given over to the actual minions with the minion candy. So that's why you might not see it get picked up as often, because before people would stack up waves and then crash it up once again. Oh no, look at it. They're using the Grumjaw flicker. They're going for X-Dragon. Gonna be going down. Oh, once again, that's gonna be 2 kills on the same target, only in the few first minutes. Denomine. Oh, I don't really like what's gonna go on. What do you think they should try and do to pull off and counter this flicker Grumjaw?
I don't know if they're going to have the chance here as Agony is getting jumped on again. Krax and Tyra's, a lot of damage there onto Agony. He's actually going to have to recall. And, you know, as you guys mentioned with the mini candy, they have changed it, but the minions themselves also got a bit of a nerf here as well. So minions in general, not quite as tanky as they once were. And, you know, that's going to allow people to get a little bit easier farming done, get their builds online a little bit easier, and hopefully have a little bit bigger of an impact in the game as, you know, again, we've already seen Krax come through twice on the Grumpjaw already with these early game picks.
That's nearly a 2k goal lead in the first 3 minutes for Sly, as really putting the Silvernail on the back foot. It's allowing them to really focus where they need to focus, put pressure in other lanes, because it's a bit of a kind of a chain effect. If you can put a bit more pressure on one lane, you can really extend that to the other lanes. And we're seeing now Krax is just being so annoying as a Scrumtroll, looking to invade the enemy jungle of Divine Vendetta and stop Silvernail getting up to those item power spikes that he does need to get to.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Silvernail, huge powerhouse, but the Joker, he's found some damage onto Krax. I don't know if it's quite enough to get a kill, but it will be enough to force the opposition back, force Sly back, and that's going to give DVI an opportunity to get their gold safely from that Gold Oak and get X-Dragon back into that bottom lane where he can get his farm up and start getting into those potent items that we talked about earlier for the Silvernail, that Serpent's Mask, the Bone Saw, and the Breaking Point.
Yeah, he now just needs to play a little bit safe, play a little bit passive, and then, yeah, once you said hits those item power spikes then. Now, in fairness, also Tyrus and Hundor, Tyrus, who started off in kind of that bottom lane supporting the Grumjaw, has now rotated up, and they've secured a turret in the first 4 minutes. And that's one thing I fear about playing a hero like Reza up in that top lane, because you have so much pressure that it doesn't actually allow the Reza to hit those power spikes as early as he kind of needs to. So I do fear about Reza being played in that top position, but let's see how it does play out. They are returning the blow DVI by getting their own respective bottom lane turret quite effectively. So even though the goal lead is different Objective-wise,
the
quite
flicker,
close.
though. The boots are out. Tyra's, he's found some good slow onto Agony there. Can they pick up the kill? They cannot. And it's going to be Agony trying to turn around and get some return damage. But Hundor is here, so there's not a lot that DVI can actually do. Except for, hold their wave, help Hundor get hyper-fed here. Because, I mean, let's be honest. If you're going to put all of your eggs into the basket, the Hundor basket seems like a pretty confident one to me.
It's a pretty strong basket to be putting yourself in, but if you notice straight away what Sly are doing, they now swap lanes. You have Hundor down in this bottom lane, and you have Cracks now rotating up to the top lane. That is such a good strategy to have. You're helping to kind of increase that lead, put a little bit more pressure, and that is Sly doing what they did best in terms of maintaining that aggression and really showing that it wasn't just a one-trick situation in the World Invitationals.
Yeah, now Cracks, he's found his way onto the Joker. Joker's quite hurt, quite low on energy, but I just don't know if Grumpjaw's going to be able to lock it up. He does have that ult. There it is.
Nice.
And I think that's going to end up being one dead Reza and a kill for Cracks.
No, no.
Get it. Oh, man, the troublemaker. Oh, Reza going to make it out. However, the same cannot be said for Agony in the bottom lane. Hundor cleaning up the kill there. And I believe Tyraz and Hundor, they're going to have absolutely no problem at this point taking down this turret. It doesn't even look like Dragon wants to contest it. He knows what's coming. And he's going to go ahead and just get into the jungle, get the weapon Treant and Gold Oak started up as we wait for Agony to return.
Well, Agony can't really do anything at this point. And for X-Dragon, sorry, can't do anything to protect that turret because he was killed twice. He's been starved out of his gold. He's only got 2 weapon blades. And look at Hundor that was pushing. He's already got a spell sword. Spell sword makes me think of the I'm the Doom build he used to do on Kinetic a long time ago. And it's still really viable if you can put it off to your win conditions. But right now, weapon Chin going to be forward over. Will be taken away by the side of DVI with not too much of a hassle. Try to do a 2-man invade versus 4-man. Not really a way to get a successful invade, unfortunately, for Sly. Right now, we are 7 minutes into the game. 3-0 for the way of Sly, and a goal lead grinding up to a 4 to 5k gold lead. So definitely Sly having a nice advantage overall. But Viking going to be dived on through with Yarkin Passage. Tries to ult, but almost no damage coming out from that. Give me the Oblivion coming out, getting put 2-man to sleep. They will not be able to re-engage on that, unfortunately. But Techno JJ going to be found out by the Joker. Can he find a kill? No, he cannot. Unfortunately, 1 man going down in that skirmish, and it will be a Viking.
1 man and a turret. And let's talk about this mid lane situation because we have Techno JJ on 63 CS and Viking on his Magnus only has 37. That's nearly double the CS lead. That is a ridiculous level of starvation coming out from Sly onto DVI. It's really forcing DVI to rethink their strategy, to rethink how they approach this game because as we are seeing right now, they have no chance of winning any kind of team fight. I know it's only 8 minutes into the game, but Sly have so much map engagement and team fight control in this game so far. Their items ahead, their map objectives ahead, and this is exactly what we kind of expected to see coming out from Sly, which is why I said Divine needed to pick a bit of a stronger, more aggressive early game comp. Because Sly are really making them pay for this situation.
Yeah, so what I was talking about earlier then into the draft phase, they had to take in their hands this early game. They had the Grumshell, they had the Flicker, they pulled it off, and right now, X-Dragon on this Silvernail. And he has a Sora Blade. When you look at Hundor, he's got Poison Shiv, Spell Sword up his sleeve, ready to go whenever he needs to. So definitely X-Dragon, not going to be that relevant in the upcoming team fights. The best thing I would say right now for DVI to come back in this game, AFK farm, especially X-Dragon. Just AFK farm, avoid team fights, because at this point, when you're one full tier 3 item behind, there's not a lot you can do to come back again in the game, and especially against the Kinetic that, in my opinion, is like the best bot lane carry right now. So just AFK farm, take your time, and you might have an opportunity to come back, but it will not be easy to pull off, as we see Slide slowly going for this ghosting that shouldn't be contested whatsoever.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to point out is I do like the fact that both teams have split up their Crucible and Fountains. So we do see on the side of DVI, the Terramwalker has got a Fountain, Agony on the Grace has got a Crucible, and then we do see that Tyrus has got a Fountain, and Keanu and Nicole has got a Crucible. So that is really clever to split up those defensive items and then really then in the team fights you're able to kind of be a little bit more effective as a 5-man team. But like you pointed out, DVI do not want to take on a team fight right now, and we're seeing
well, there's a team fight talking about it coming out. Denominator.
Yes. Sly is breaking out some damage here. 2v3, and Hundor is not scared here with Tyra's. Ult is going to come through. Body blocked by X-Dragon. That's going to let Joker get out alive, but I don't know if the aggression is stopped. Here comes Keanu Nakoa, but here comes the rest of DVI too. Magnus is down here. Can he make the change? Huge stun onto Hundor. There's the ult. Going to hit Tyra's. Not quite enough, but it will be enough to prevent any further aggression on that turret. But, oh, hold on, maybe not. Hundor's coming back as the rest of DVI rotate out.
You could dive it. He's got kinetic, he's got dash. Go no,
yeah,
go for it, go for it.
Dash.
Oh, that damage,
boy. Big damage from Hundor. I don't think DVI can stick around. It's just going to be Hundor waiting for this next wave to come in, and that's going to be a free turret on the platter for Sly.
Damn, when looking at the builds right now, like almost everyone on the side of Sly are like tier 2 item, like got 2 tier 3 items, and then you look at DVI, most of them got like 1 tier 3 item. You got Agony's got tier 3, 2 tier 3 items, but like other than that, really, it's just like it shows the advantage they got so far. We're only 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes in, and the goal lead is almost worth 10,000. And when you're in just such a small lapse of time, it's really like it really shows the dominance on Sly.
Maxman.
Yeah.
I was saying about Sly needing to be aggressive and shut down the
boy.
Dragon.
Yeah, here comes the big moon cloak. I think that's going to be a free kill onto X-Dragon. They're now chasing down Agony. We do not have a stuffed available, but I don't know if it's going to matter. I think Agony is just going to drop dead here. That's going to be a Divine Intervention. Not enough to save his life. Ooh. Not enough Magnus can do. Huge damage. Just no finishing blows there for Viking. Obviously, everybody across the board really on the side of DVI struggling on their CS. You know, if we look, Techno JJ 112 versus Viking on the 64. So huge difference in gold there, and you can really see it developing in the builds. 1 item complete for Viking, and Techno JJ, he's got 2 complete, and he's got 2,400 gold in his pocket. Almost enough for a 3rd tier 3.
And the tier 2 boots. And talking about boots, you have 3 sets of war threads on the side of Sly. 3. That is such a high level of aggression to shut down this DVI team. And it's exactly what Sly needed to do. And it's just so nice to see, because boots got a bit of a buff in 3.9 patch. You're a lot more effective to pick up tier 2 boots early on into the game. You're able to engage harder. You're able to really look to shut down the enemy heroes all the time, and that's really effective play coming out from Sly.
Yeah, absolutely. As we look, Sly, they've actually started up the Black Claw at this point, so I'm interested to see if DVI even attempt. I mean, at this point, I think you go for the steal, right? Like, what worst case scenario, you lose and you still lose. But here we go, Arcane Passage in. Got a Bright Bulwark down, and oh my god, Viking obliterated off the map early on. Huge stun attempt coming out of Nomad Vagabond, not quite enough. That's going to be Reza falling as well. I think Agony is going to be the next. X-Dragon, the only one to make it out alive. He has completed his 2nd tier 3, and you know, definitely seen a little bit of a different build path here for the Silvernail and the Kinetic. We saw back in 3.8, we saw a lot of Serpent's Mask, a lot of Bonesaw, and a lot of Breaking Point. And actually, none of those built yet. We've got the Poison Shiv on both, and then the Silvernail's actually gone a Sorrow Blade, so not as much sustain on the Silvernail.
Yeah, I don't disagree with it. The reason why is because I think, especially when you're in this situation where you're behind on the side of DVI, you don't really want to look to stack onto the enemy team, because you don't want to really team fight. And then when you look over on the side of Sly, even though they're being aggressive now with this Black Claw.
Yeah, they might actually find Hundor here. He's low, but no, the aggression has turned around. Excellent use of his mechanics there. Hundor has got to the back line of the fight, started stacking up some of his heals there. He's gonna start cleaning through, and a huge amount of damage coming through from Techno. Those empowered Malice and Verdicts cleaning up that fight quickly. There's 4. They're now chasing down Nomad Vagabond. I think that's going to be a clean ace for Sly. They've got the Black Claw pushing, and I think they've taken game 1 here in right about 15 minutes, guys.
That's pretty damn clean. I think everyone here would agree great last team fight. But I also want to say that in that last team fight, we did see DVI put up the biggest challenge. They did bring down a good few members of Sly down to very low health. So I do think that it was definitely harder. It would have gotten harder for Sly getting later on into the game. It was just the fact that they did exactly what they needed to do with this composition. They aggressed hard. They got a good goal lead. They got a strong lead into this game, and they really made DVI pay the price, or they paid the price, should I say, by taking down DVI in less than 15 minutes.
And overall, Sly throughout that game, we didn't really get a chance to talk much about it, but their vision control was absolutely insane. I mean, there was like almost no scout cams up except for in the lower half of the DVI jungle for DVI all game. Any other ones were gone almost immediately. And that gave Tyras really so much freedom on those invades. I mean, we saw several times he'd come in, get the big slow, and even when they weren't able to pick up the kill, it was generally enough for them to push some sort of objective control, whether it be jungle stealing or even just taking turrets. And, you know, just excellent rotations coming out of the side of Sly.
Yeah, exactly. Just really amazing stuff that happened. But I said that's exactly what, what DVI were trying to do, at least in that first game. They should be doing the opposite. They should be doing, you know, give Sly a taste of their own medicine. It's the only way you're going to take a team like Sly down. You have to kind of go, okay, we're not letting you get into this game. Sly did this to DVI, and DVI folded. They crumbled. Partly because their comp was more kind of late game. Secondly, because they fed a little bit too much. Like I said, in that last team fight, DVI, they put up definitely more of a fight. You know, in terms of putting Sly down low health, generally overall. But that Reza top lane, I don't agree with. It's just not tanky enough, in my opinion. You need to have just that tanker hero, which is why I think Grumpjaw works. I just think Grumpjaw just really can be very effective. Got a bit of a buff in the 3.9 patch and is able just to look to shut down the enemy team quite well. And pairing it with a flicker, job done.
Okay, just as we're going to be trying to jump into the next draft of game number 2 right now, it is 1-0 to the side of Sly. We are doing a giveaway right now in chat, so while we're in the draft phase, you will normally be getting information in chat of what you can win. You can win 3 times 500 ice right now, so just going to look out in the chat for the information. You have to type a keyword in chat, and you'll have an opportunity to win some ice. You've got nothing to lose. Just type in the chat, and maybe you will be the lucky winner of a little pack of ice, and you can maybe, you know, buy yourself a box, maybe get yourself the new Celeste skin. You might get lucky. I'm not, so we'll have to see. But anyways, we're now diving into the draft of this second game. Let's see if Sly can bring it 2-0 and a little bit further to becoming the European champion.
I do want to make note real quick as we get into this draft. We have the Flicker band away here first. You know, huge shout out to Tyras. Make sure you guys are looking out in the chat for the Matcherino link, and make sure you use the code for the free donation. That's going to increase the prize pool for these guys and really help out the competitive scene for Europe here. So make sure you guys are looking out for that link. I think Moobot, Dracosin, and Sylvia are in chat posting it. So
spam it, baby. Get on there. Support EU competitive scene in any way.
It's free. It's totally free. Matcherino is giving us codes to use for increasing the prize pools. So make sure you use that code. It's funded totally by Matcherino. You can do it on your multiple platforms that it asks you to log into for multiple donations. So make sure you guys get that done.
Yeah, as we do see going through this ban phase, you do see Kinetic has been banned on the side of Sly, and then as the second ban coming out from DVI, he's a very clever Churn Walker, and now Sly have picked up this Magnus as their first pick. Denominate! They're gonna go, okay, you picked up Magnus, but you didn't work. We're gonna show you how to use Magnus and get the best out of the beast that is the new hero.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Magnus, again, has a lot of potential if you get into a comfortable position with him. Unfortunately, for the side of DVI, it wasn't that last game.
No.
So we'll have to see how game 2 goes here with Sly picking this one up. I'm interested to see where Sly run it. Definitely, you know, your gold heavy carry, you want to be in the mid lane. However, I do think Magnus still just struggles a little bit against some of these other mid laners currently. The Samuel, the Celeste, you know, anybody really that just has a much better clear, because no matter how good you're doing on your last hitting, you're getting pressured if you're forced underneath your turret and trying to last hit with Magnus.
Pretty much, and that's why you need a really strong, solid early game captain. With that Magnus, somebody like a Lyra, somebody like an Adagio. Adagio got a bit of a buff out, you know, indirect because of those basic attacks. And I actually think Adagio can be a very good support, especially with Magnus. So definitely would like to see that possibly picked up on the side of Sly. They haven't actually picked up their captain. Then over on the side of DVI, they have picked up Silvernail and Samuel once again being played in that mid lane, most likely by Techno JJ. No, actually, sorry.
I hope not.
No,
I hope Techno JJ is not playing Samuel.
Sorry, my humble apologies. Thinking first game, it's Agony. Sorry, DVI. My humble apologies. Yeah.
Samuel, one of Agony's long-time heroes that he's been comfortable with too, right? Like all the way back in 3v3, we saw a lot of Gwen from him and a lot of Samuel. So I'm interested to see what he's able to do here in 5v5, especially since I think he has a little bit better of a mid lane matchup this time. For him.
Oh yeah, 100%, because you have a match with Lyra. Samuel and Lyra are one of the strongest mid lane pairings right now. Lyra is able to just heal up. You have the sustain coming out from Samuel, the last hitting capability, the drift in dark. It just provides so much pressure, and with the mid lane not really being heavily focused on as kind of early jumping on, it gives Samuel a chance to be very aggressive. However, in saying that, the concept being rounded up, Grumpjaw, Idris, Anka, along with a Magnus and the Yates on the side of Sly, and then you have Scarf, Samuel, Silvernail, Lyra, and Art on the side of DVI. Once again, Sly going for an engaged, aggressive comp, and then on the side of DVI, I like their kiting capability. Lyra is going to be able to provide a lot of heal, like I mentioned. Samuel has that sustain and that drift in dark, being able to kite back. And Viking on this Scarf is going to be very good at putting a lot of kind of pressure with that group, with that Spitfire, and pushing this Sly composition away from shutting him down. Hopefully, then you have the zoning coming out from Silvernail. I do like DVI's comp giving them a far better chance in this game too.
Absolutely, but we're ready to get in here. We are on the Sovereign's Rise. We have some festive hats coming out from Kiana Nakoa here with the Santa Claus hat on the Yates skin, actually. Very, very festive looking character here.
Oh man, ho ho ho, Merry Christmas and all that jazz. But
yeah, I think we had Santa on yesterday, didn't we?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Excuse me. Christmas is cancelled after yesterday, thank you very much. But either way, yeah, we are on this second game. It is a best of 5 for those of you that have just joined us. First blood.
Early kill as Tyra's and Hundor a little bit too caught out there. A 3-man invade coming out of the side of DVI is going to spell a first blood, I think a gold oak, a weapon treant, some barrier treants. I mean, that was a good start for DVI looking at the last game performance. They're already up 1,000 gold here in the first minute.
So I said they had to be aggressive, and that's exactly what they're doing. You do see great rotations coming out from Agony working really well, and also obviously Nomad Vagabond on the Lyra has put Viking, I wouldn't say under a bit of pressure. He did actually secure that crystal tree, so that's going to be pretty good for him CS wise. Pretty even between himself and Techno JJ on this Magnus so far. First 2 minutes, DVI looking a lot stronger, but Kiana Nakoa going in.
Yeah, Kiana Nakoa going in. I think Viking's going to make it out. He did buy those early boots So did not go the double crystal bit, playing it a little bit passive, a little bit safe, making sure that he's going to be alive to get his CS, and that makes a lot of sense.
It
and
does.
Despite having the Lyra, TechnoJJ does seem to be winning out on these trades pretty good right now. He has good rotation right now for just harassing the Scarf, who, you know, is another hero who struggles pretty hard during the early game to get his last hits. Oh, that's a huge Wolf's Maw from Kiana Nakoa. Gonna pick up the kill there. Viking has now lost his Lyra support. And this is why I was hoping to see the Samuel in the mid lane.
Yeah.
He does a little bit better on that early game farming, especially against minion candied waves. And as we see, that candy has just gone out from Kiana Nakoa. There's not enough that Viking can do at this point, especially if Kiana Nakoa, as healthy as he is, he's just soaking up these Spitfires so that Viking can't farm. Look, he's constantly positioning himself between the minions in TechnoJJ and Viking.
Oh, man! It's like Nomad comes back and it's like, oh, you're here. Okay, let's pull you in. Absolutely fantastic play coming out from Sly. They know their spikes. They know where the target. And yes, DVI had a great initial start, but this gold difference has gone from the 1k gold lead that DVI had to very even trade with cracks. And Kiana Nakoa, along with Tyrus, being put under pressure by X-Dragon and Agony.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been huge plays so far. Huge start for DVI from game 1 to game 2, and it looks like they might even be rotating up here into the top lane, maybe trying to aggress this turret. They did get cracks and Tyra's low enough that they're not able to defend it, so I think that's going to be a little bit more gold going over to the side of DVI now, and they need it because realistically, looking at the numbers off of those picks in the mid lane and just the great work TechnoJJ's been doing, we almost had a catch-up in gold there. It was an early 1,500 gold lead for DVI, and in a matter of a minute, I mean, the side of Slide just turned it back around, so I'm glad to see DVI still pushing that early game while they can.
Yeah, exactly, very much so. And what that will actually allow is that will allow X-Dragon to rotate from that top lane to mid lane to put a little bit less pressure onto Viking on this Scarf, allow him to maybe farm up and hopefully even get a kill on the TechnoJJ. So if they do that right, they will be able to do a lot more work. So I'd like to see that happening coming out from X-Dragon. And then on the side of Agony, I'd actually like to see him go down and support Joker on this Arden. I wouldn't say he needs it, but it would help to kind of starve and shut down the Idris and the Yanka combo that Sly have in this bottom lane.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. As we have Agony returning to base, picking up a couple more crystal items there. He does have the energy battery for a little bit of regeneration. He does now have the heavy prism as well as the eclipse prism as well. Very likely going to go into that spellfire first item. Yeah, it's the typical mage item that we see. If we look, we already see TechnoJJ's completed his.
Yeah.
I am interested to see where TechnoJJ does go in with the build, but Tyra's not quite able to get the kill on the Joker there. Joker actually level 6 on the Arden, has that gauntlet available. So we'll have to see when he chooses to use that. But as of right now, he's seeking as much support as he can from Nomad Vagabond.
Yeah, and this is just Sly doing pretty well so far in this game. However, DVI, they are back up to about a 1k gold lead. When you look at the CS difference, Magnus TechnoJJ is on 49 CS and Viking is only on 36. It's not as much of a difference as we saw in the first game, Denominate, but it's notable enough that he got a tier 3 item before Viking is able to hit that power spike earlier on. It's going to make the Magnus a lot more effective. He already has 500 gold in his arsenal ready to get on, and World Small comes out onto Viking.
Yeah, Viking taking quite a bit of damage there. Now, important to make note, he is level 6. He does have that Dragon's Breath available, but unfortunately, no piercing yet. And, you know, me and Max have talked a lot over the tournament, specifically with Hegman playing the Scarf. You know, that the sheer amount of pierce that you get is absolutely insane with the Scarf and a Broken Myth. TechnoJJ narrowly escapes a beautiful goop placement there from Viking, lived with 40 health, and now that's going to give Viking a little bit of an opportunity to start pushing up He's now got his wave in control where he needs it. That's going to give him an opportunity to get through this jungle and try to get some more gold, because this Scarf, he's almost caught up at this point, 52 to 47. But this mid wave is here. It's being held by Keanu Nakoa. And here comes Techno JJ. This is going to be a lot of gold that Techno JJ is going to pick up at this point as he starts working towards his clockwork.
Yeah, he does, but at the end of the day, Viking is sitting on over 2k gold. He's going to be able to get back before that wave really pushes towards his turn. And yes, Techno JJ is going to get this gold, but either way, I really like how Viking is now starting to get back into this game. Turret has been destroyed by Anka and Idris. That's evening up the objectives. Gold difference is only 400 in the favor of DVI. Much closer second game to nominate. It could definitely go either way between these two teams. It's going to come down to having the right level of focus on these team fights. Viking definitely has to be the shutdown hero on the side of Sly, then followed by Silvernail, or one or the other, because Silvernail does have the zoning, but Viking on this Scarf, once he hits 2 or 3 damage items, like you said, that Dragon's Breath is going to be very, very effective and is really going to pierce through this this Sly composition.
Well, what's going to be rough to me, which we'll get after this fight breaks out here, is we do have the Arcane Passage in, the Bright Bulwark down. Huge damage onto Hundor and Tyra's right now.
Oh.
Cracks comes through. He's on the wrong side of this fight now. That's a free kill going over to the side of DVI. Oh, it's answered back! Magnus Techno JJ comes through with a huge snipe there. He's now looking for more. Can he find it? There's the boots out. Part of what I was getting ready to say before that fight broke out, though, Viking has gone all the way into tier 3 boots, those Halcyon Chargers here early on for his second tier 3, as opposed to working into his next damage item. And I think this is a little bit of a hindrance for the Scarf here. I would have liked the tier 2 boots just for that lower cooldown and higher natural base speed. But I don't know if committing to the Halcyon Chargers was the best use of gold for Scarf early on here.
I think because he's behind on gold and itemization, I agree with it. The reason why is because the cooldown you get from Halcyon Chargers actually means that you don't really need a lot of extra cooldown itemization, so you can actually build into a second full damage item a little bit earlier on without needing anything like a Clockwork or an Eve of Harvest. So I do actually agree with that tier 3. Plus with the buff that Boots got, it does make sense for a hero like Scarf that is naturally